I recently got to detect what I believe is one of, if not the oldest remaining homes in my town, and was able to find something amazing for the next door neighbor. These are my stories from the Signal. I was recently in the Yellow Breeches stream, looking to add to my train relic story. Stay tuned for some exciting updates as that story has gotten better. A very nice man came over and started talking with me and asking questions. It turns out he had acquired a metal detector a few years prior, but was not really sure how to use it. This is not that uncommon. Learning how to use a detector is a combination of having the right motions to move the machine around to ensure no item is missed, while figuring out the language the machine speaks. The tone and length of the sound relative to how fast you are moving, the numbers thrown at you on the display, jumping around, that you need to decipher, all require practice, and for some can lead to quitting the hobby before finding anything good. It turns out he has a beautiful historic home very close to where I was detecting. I, of course, was eager to not only help him learn about detecting, but very curious what we might find at his house. I met him the next day just to get a tour around his house and figure out when we could detect. He was very gracious to show me his home. I had never been in an old stone house like this before. The one thing that stuck out to me was the depth of the wall, which was very plainly seen when looking at the window. He explained to me another stone house just up the street had slightly different coloring of the stones. The other house is believed to have been built from material right in the surrounding area. But the thought is his house had been built from the same quarry used to build the buildings at Dickinson College, as seen here. There has been an addition to the building, thus the stone walls in the interior of the kitchen. I was taken by this photo he has over the mantel. This is a very old photo of his home. The surrounding wooden structures are no longer there, but the bridge is, although it has been altered a little. You can tell he has a lot of pride in this home, as he should. He even made this beautiful display of old nails he found while working in his yard. I may have to do something similar with the nails I find when detecting. Well, I did get to detect there, and I was not disappointed in what we found. I got there and unfortunately his detector wasn't holding a charge. I still showed him some of the basic techniques and started detecting. We were both eager to see what was in his yard. I very quickly found a few coins. Unfortunately, nothing too old and no silver. Well, I did get this one hit that at first I thought was going to be silver, perhaps a real, but on closer examination, we did find it was a plate coin. Some other notable items were a broken handle to a pair of scissors, a measuring spoon, a locket of some sort, some clock parts, and a braided metal bracelet. Probably the most exciting piece was the toy soldier. Here it is still in the ground. And here's a picture after it was cleaned. We also found a fob of some sort. After cleaning it, we found it was marked with Dickinson Prep. Dickinson College of Carlisle, Pennsylvania, the very place believed to share the source of building stones at this house, had a preparatory school. The prep school closed in 1917. I couldn't find a date when the prep school was founded, but I have a record of someone attending Dickinson Prep prior to 1856. What I also know is this historic home was at one point owned by the All family. We see on this 1872 map the property belonged to C.W. and D.V. All. Carrie and Daniel were brothers. Carrie has a son, Thomas, born in 1848. Thomas graduates from Dickinson College in 1867. It is possible this fob would have been in his possession. He didn't attend Dickinson Prep, but it was at the same location as Dickinson College. Another possibility is that Gilbert Malcolm owned the fob. He was originally from New York City and goes on to graduate from Dickinson and marries Helen F. Bucher of Boiling Springs. The one road leading into the property where the fob was found is later named Booger Hill after the family that owned the mansion visible from the historic house where the fob was found. One last possible contender for the original owner of the fob is Mervyn Filler. Mervyn attended grade school in Boiling Springs, entered Dickinson Prep School, and graduated from Dickinson College as valedictorian in 1893. He also goes on to instruct at the preparatory school. Mervyn's house was right here, about a block or two from where the fob had been found. The entire time we were detecting in his yard, we had the opportunity to talk to neighbors walking by. At one point, his next-door neighbor stopped to talk as she was about to take her dog for a walk. She said I could detect in her yard, so I jumped on the opportunity. After a short time of finding a coin or two and a salt shaker lid, I found this ring. It was rather striking as it came out of the ground. When the owner got home, I had asked if she remembered losing anything in her yard. She couldn't think of anything, but when I showed her the ring, she indicated with some surprise that it was lost about 2 years ago. I think of the history of this home, the furnace and foundry work that went on right outside, the pool that was built when the foundry was no longer needed, the many families that lived here over the years, and the children that played in the yard with fake coins and toy soldiers. These kids sitting here looking at us from the past could very well have been the ones who lost the very toys we found.